Hi everyone, this is David and welcome to this week 2 video in which we're going to practice some skills that you're going to need for this week. So if you would, please come on in, follow me, and let's get started. We're going to go into the tool shed and get us a copy of the Slideshow Viewer Lite. All you do is right click on one, pull down to Take Copy. That'll put a copy in your inventory. To find it, click on the inventory icon, click on Recent, and in the Objects folder you'll find an orange cube. Drag it to the ground to make sure you got it. There it is, and that's what we'll be using. We don't need it right now, so we can go ahead and right click on it and select Delete. Let's go outside and we're going to teleport up to the Sky platform. The Sky platform is simply another name for a sandbox. The sandbox up there is where you can do all of your work and not worry about messing anything up or anybody else up. So you click on the globe and you land on the Sky platform. Let's walk out here and get ourselves some breathing room, some elbow room. And the first thing that we're going to do is to open up our inventory and find that box we just bought. That's why we're in Recent. We open it up and there's the object. We left click it and drag it to the ground in front of us. Do not put it on yourself. Drag it in front of you. Now, to open up the box, you right click for the context menu and you select Open. And that again is going to list the contents, and then you have a choice as to whether to wear it, no it's not closed, or copy it to your inventory. We did. There it shows up in our inventory. Hey, look at that. There are step-by-step instructions on how to set up and use the slideshow viewer. That should help you out in one of your assignments this week. Here are some updates on enhancements to this particular version. Okay, thank you very much. We're finished with the box. We can now delete it. And now we can res into the world our slideshow viewer. Here we go. Pull it down to the ground in front of you, about to where you want it. And there it is. Let's walk over and take a look at what we got. As you can see, we have forward arrows and we have backward arrows. And then the start button resets the show down at the beginning to start back at the beginning. Okay, so it looks like it's functioning all right. Let's do some editing on it. Definitely the first little trick we want to apply is one you've already learned, and that is to go to Texture and then Full Bright. Put a little light on the subject. Thank you. Looks excellent. Next thing we're going to do is click on Content, and in the Contents pane we're going to delete those 3 placeholder slides or textures. So right click and delete them. Now we've got to put in our own slideshow. You should have your slideshow already prepared using the other video that you're supposed to watch this week. I'm going to type in slide. I'm going to find me a show that's pre-prepared following those video instructions. Let's try this 4-slide show here. All I do is select the slides holding down the Shift key. Once they are selected, I left click and drag them to the contents pane. Release, and the slides will begin resing in to the slideshow viewer and also into the contents pane, and there you see them. Fantastic. Thank you for that. Okay, so we have our show that we want to give in the slideshow viewer. Forward arrows are working. And of course we can always click Start to reset the show. Okay, the slideshow viewer is working well. Let's put a base to it. I don't like slideshows that just kind of hang from nothingness. Let's click on Cube and let's res in a cube there from the Build menu. Now we have to make that cube the same length and width as the slideshow if it's going to be our base. Very simple to do this and very important for a trick for you to know. So we click on slideshow, object, and we copy the length of the slideshow, 4 meters. We click on cube and we paste those same numbers into the X. Boom, and now it's the same length. We click on the slideshow again and we get the thickness, which is 0.1. We copy, click on the cube, copy in 0.1, and now it's the same thickness. Okay, now we have to align them perfectly. So we click on the slideshow. This time we go to the X axis position, 86 point, and then we click on the cube and we copy those same position coordinates in. Boom, and it moves it. Now we go to the Y coordinates of the slideshow, 147, 6029, copy, click on the cube, copy and paste those in there, and it's going to line it up on the Y axis. Okay, the Z axis has to do with up and down. We don't need to worry about that. But look at the rotation. Rotation on the slideshow is 0, 0 to 70. So we click on the cube, and we make sure the rotation is 0, 0 to 70. And that's going to line it up perfectly. Let's zoom around to the side there and make sure our edges are perfect in alignment. Okay, looks good, very good. The only problem is our start button is now hidden inside the base that we just built. Not a problem. You can edit that little start button simply by clicking on the slideshow, going to the edit menu. Let's raise it up so that we can see the start button. You can see the outline of it. There's the start button. Now all of the objects of the slideshow are currently linked. The arrows, the screen, the start button, and we want to edit only one part of them. So we click on Edit Linked. Then we select the thing that we want to edit, the single thing, and that's the start button. Then we're going to edge that out just a little bit on the red axis, the x-axis. That should do it. Take that check mark out so that they're linked again. We pull it down and look at that. The start button is just outside the base, and we need to make sure that everything's still linked together and still works. Okay, looks good. It's not out too far, and we see it fully. Okay, let's do a couple of clicks, make sure everything's still linked together and still working. It is indeed. Back to the start. Outstanding. Now we need to put a texture on our base. Right now it's just the plain plywood, so we click on Edit for that base, go over to Texture, and then we click on the Texture Preview. Now, as a new resident in Second Life, all of your textures are going to be in the library. So open up the library folder, then the textures folder, and scroll down and I guess get some wood. That would seem to match best the colors here. We open up the wood, and then we can click on each of those and preview them in the preview window. There's Brazilian rosewood, bubinga. Let's turn on full bright, make sure we're getting the right color there. It helps a little bit. Okay, cherry to red, mahogany to mahogany. Old wood, I bet you that's going to do it because it's got the same orange in it. It does indeed. Okay, so let's select OK for old wood. Let's zoom in and check our repeats per face. Looks like maybe too many repeats per face. I'm not getting that old wood feeling. Let's adjust our repeats per meter and see if we can get an old wood feeling. See how many those are. That's way too many. So we back off, decrease the number of repeats per meter, keep on backing off until we get something that really looks like old wood. There it comes. That's looking more like old wood, maybe a couple more. Yeah, it's got the cracks in it and everything. Excellent. Yeah, that looks like old wood. Now let's see on the horizontal, you can see what's to the left and to the right. kind of get the little marker things lined up so that they present the best. And same thing for the vertical. See what's at top and what's at bottom. Don't want too much of that white stuff in there. Okay, so we have adjusted our repeats. Now we can also adjust the color. I'm not liking that color too much. So let's click on Edit. And this time we're going to click on Color. And let's pull that out so we can see everything. And let's play around the color. That's a little bit too dark, so let's move our slider up. Okay, it's lighter, but it's still too red. Let's take out some of the red and put in some of the more orange. Pull it on down, get some more orange in it. Hey, that's matching up really well there. Okay, that matches well. Let's click OK. Close the edit pane. Ah, look at that great match. That's an excellent match. Okay, let's inspect our work. Let's zoom in close, check all of our edges, and make sure things are doing exactly what we want them to do. Okay, everything looks really excellent. We are ready to go.